Chapter 119. Mu Qian smiled faintly and said, "Thank you for the compliment." Jing Lianghui was so enraged that he was hurt internally, and it was the first time he encountered such a difficult person. At this time, Mu Ruoyan suddenly spoke up, "Jing, Gongzi, it's Ruoyan's fault." Ruoyan thought Sheer wasn't interested in such things and didn't send her an invitation. "Harmony is to be prized, you should not be angry." She looked at Mu Qian with great sincerity and said, "Sheer, we all welcome you here." Jing Lianghui, who is, too, riding a tiger, is now having a hard time to get off. Now that the beauty was asking for it, he gave way and said, "You have to partake. I, ate to attend. When you see Gongzi's talent later, you will definitely regret going against him." The thought that later on, Mu Qian she will worship him like everyone else, fawning over him and flattering him in all sorts of ways, made Jing Lianghui feel much better. All the people who came to attend this exchange meeting entered the venue, and the entire venue was very exquisitely decorated and pleasing to the eye, showing that Mu Ruoyan had put in a lot of effort. Once everyone was there, it was time for Jing Lianghui to show off and perform, waving his hands and displaying numerous herbs. He said, "These herbs are the ones used to refine the first-grade elixir pill, which is." As soon as the properties of these herbs were introduced, many people were laymen and naturally looked at Jing Lianghui with admiration. Zhu Nemo said, "Little girl, I feel like I'm watching a monkey show. So boring. Might as well go back and eat meat." "I feel the same way, let's watch it first. And then you find a chance to break the scene, else it's all for nothing." With a nod he said, "But this guy is such an idiot, I don't even feel like trashing the venue anymore, I thought he was so powerful." While Mu Qian and Zhu Nemo were watching the monkey show, something big happened to Mu Jia. Third Master. For a time, the Wuyu courtyard was in complete chaos. At this moment, Mu Wushuang's face was so pale, large drops of sweat fell from his forehead and he felt like his legs were being crawled by millions of ice-cold insects. The guards around him said, "I'll go and invite the young lord." "Stop!" Mu Wushuang coldly shouted. "Father's seal is no longer effective and the poison on my leg flared up, so it's useless even if Sheer is here or not. Don't tell Sheer, so she won't worry." Mu Wushuang said weakly. "But, that's an order." As soon as the shadow was about to say something, several figures suddenly appeared in front of them. The shadow was stunned. Ooh. Boom. In a flash they exchanged blows, but today Mu Wushuang couldn't even move a finger because of the pain, so it was very difficult for him to deal with these martial and spirit kings by himself. The poison flared up wildly and eventually Mu Wushuang couldn't stand it any longer and set out. Third Master. Mu Qian, who had been watching Jing Lianghui's antics, suddenly had a very bad premonition and stood up with a cold killing intent emanating from her body. She had no idea what else could be going on that would make her so unsettled. Mu Qian could never have imagined that her young uncle Mu Wushuang, who had recovered his eyesight and had reached the third stage of Martial King, would encounter danger in this remote land known as the Purple Moon Kingdom. At the same time, Jing Lianghui was refining a first-grade pill when he suddenly felt a cold murderous aura that caused his mental energy to stagnate, leaving him out of control for a moment. Boom! The furnace in front of his eyes exploded with a bang. Cough, cough. Jing Lianhui crawled up with great difficulty, as if he had come out of a coal mine, and his smoothly combed ink hair had turned into a mess. Seeing such a funny scene, the crowd really wanted to laugh but did not dare to. It was so hard to hold it in that it caused internal injuries to some. Jing Lianghui raged, "Mu Qianxi, you actually attacked me while I was refining my medicine. You have caused Gongzi to fail in refining medicine." Zhu Nemo said, "If your strength is poor, how can you blame others for failing to refine the pills? Who are you? What right do you have to talk to Gongzi like that?" Junimo slowly walked over and said, "Who am I? If I remember correctly, you all call me Medicine King." Ha ha ha. You? Medicine King. Jing Lianghui was laughing so hard he couldn't catch his breath. You liar. I've heard that the Medicine King is an advanced alchemist, even more powerful than our patriarch. How can you, a dimwit, be an advanced alchemist? Boring. Since we are here today to trash this place, there has to be something I can do. Junimo raised his hand, and an alchemy furnace appeared in front of him. He lazily used his fire attribute spiritual energy, and for a moment the whole ship's cabin became scorching hot. Master Peng, who had been very arrogant on the side, suddenly jumped up. Fire attribute. Junmo's movements were very smooth as he put in every single spiritual herb, and not long after, a 5-grade pill was refined casually by Junimo. A 5-grade pill. He really is the Medicine King. How is that possible? Jing Lianghui was incredulous. At this time, Master Peng jumped out and said, "Medicine King, you are definitely the Medicine King, and no one in the entire Purple Moon Kingdom can do that except you. Please take me as your disciple, Master." The crowd saw an unbelievable scene. The royal chief alchemist, who had always been on top of the world, actually wanted to learn from a young man who looked like he had not yet reached the age of 20. What a bizarre scene this was. Meanwhile, Mu Ruoyan also walked over and gently said, "Lord Medicine King, Ruoyan has admired you for a long time. Please take Ruoyan as your disciple." Junimo drew the line. This old guy is a low-level alchemist and you. Ha! What qualifications do you have to ask me to take you as my disciple? Mu Ruoyan spoke in a low voice. Ruoyan is not talented, just a low-level alchemist who can only concoct 3rd-grade pills. But I will definitely serve the Medicine King well. Hiss. As soon as Mu Ruoyan's words came out, all the people were stunned. Even Xianyuan Lishang and Jing Lianhui were shocked, originally thinking that Mu Ruoyan was only interested in alchemy, but never imagined that she could actually refine 3rd-grade pills and was even better than Jing Lianhui. Mu Ruyun was thrilled. Sister Ruyun is so powerful. Seeing a calm Mu Qianxi on the side, Mu Ruyun walked over and exclaimed, "Humph. Mu Qianxi, even if you're a 1st-stage spirit master, you are nothing special. No matter what, you can't catch up with Sister Ruoyan, who is an alchemist. You're not even worthy enough to lift her shoes." It was at this time that Junimo coldly said, "Oh. To be able to concoct a 3rd-grade pill at such a young age is not bad." Mu Ruoyan's face showed surprise due to Junmo's words. Junimo continued, "But if you want me to take you as my disciple, then you have to see if Xiaoxi agrees first. I'm hers after all." 1. Gongzi, honorific for son of an official or son of an ability. 2. Idiom, fig. Impossible to stop halfway. Chapter 120. Junimo reached out, pointing at Mu Qianxi. She is now in charge of his food and home, of course he is her person. Junimo thinks this way, but the others thought the wrong way. This sentence is too misleading, okay? Mu Ruyun's proud face instantly froze in disbelief. How could this happen? The Medicine King unexpectedly wanted to listen to Mu Qianxi's words. Mu Qian looked at her with a smile and said, "Mu Ruyun, your words just now appear to be the opposite. Even if Mu Ruoyan is able to refine a 3rd-grade elixir, this lord doesn't think highly of her. She is not even worthy to raise this lord's shoes. Junimo, if you take such a woman as your disciple, then I will absolutely cut off ties with you." Junimo shrugged his shoulders and said, "Then there is nothing I can do." Woo woo woo. Mu Ruoyan cried in a low voice. Jing Lianghui immediately grabbed her shoulders and said comfortingly, "Ruoyan, don't cry. You are so talented, even the patriarch will accept you as a disciple. being the disciple of the Medicine King are not rare in the least. Boom! At this time, Jun Emo suddenly made a move. With one kick, Jing Lianghui was sent into the lake. 1. Bengong Z hate self-righteous SCUM like you the most. To say that you will be more powerful than this Bengong Z in the future is simply an insult to this Bengong Z. Cock. Jing Lianghui after he fell directly into the water coughed and took a cold shower. Medicine King, you're just too much. Who let you say things you shouldn't? You deserve it. For a moment, the cold and immortal-like image of the man disappeared and the onlookers' mouths twitched. Medicine King, did Lord Mu's temperament pass on to you? Why are you so violent? At this time, Master Peng's old face unfolded a bright smile and came up to Mu Qian, asking, Lord Mu, take a look at me, do I fit in as a proper disciple of the Medicine King? The corners of Mu Qian's mouth twitched. Master Peng, you're so old to be this guy's disciple, don't you care about seniority? Master Peng replied, in our world of alchemy, regardless of age, it is only about one's ability. Therefore, this old man does not feel ashamed, as long as the great Medicine King can give a few pointers to me, I will die without regret. Mu Qian said, the truth is, even if you want the Medicine King to guide you, you can't. You must give up becoming the royal family's chief alchemist first and then come to work in my ghost medicine house. Will I agree with you? Her ghost doctor house has too few alchemists, while business is getting better and better. It would be good to recruit more people. This old guy is a little older and has less talent in alchemy, but his experience is not bad, otherwise he would not have become the chief alchemist of the Purple Moon Kingdom, right? Xianyuan Li Shang was furious. Mu Qianxi. To think that you have the audacity to steal from our royal family. You're crazy. Xianyuan Li Tian also said gloomily, Mu Qianshi, you are Imperial Brother's fiancé, but you are actually hooking up with someone outside and having such a close relationship with the Medicine King. Tarnishing the reputation of our royal family, aren't you afraid of making ninth brother displeased with you? Mu Qian's voice was cold, Zhou Yi does not care. Also Your Highness Xianyuan Li Tian, you should stop meddling in this lord's affairs. Xianyuan Li Tian's face turned green for a moment then purple in a matter of seconds, a lot more colorful than a palette could be. He coldly snorted, Mu Qianxi, if you continue to act like this sooner or later you'll die without knowing. Meanwhile, Master Peng made up his mind and said, I promise, I will return to the palace later to give His Majesty my resignation. Xianyuan Li Shang's face turned pale and said, Master Peng, the ghost doctor house is just a small medicine house run by Mu Jia. The pills and potions sold are all inferior, why do you have to condescend to a place like that? Master Peng waved his hand and said, there is a Medicine King sitting in there. It is definitely not as simple as you think. Your Highness, this old man already made his decision. Xianyuan Li Shang wanted to kill the chief alchemist of their Xianyuan royal family, so that he can't be used by others. When their father comes back, His Majesty will surely not let him go. Mu Qian said, then Master Peng should quickly report to the ghost doctor house. This lord will leave first, you guys take your time and play. Mu Qian dragged Jun Mo away. Since the event was already in a mess and half of the ship was destroyed, she hurriedly went home. Especially since the restlessness she's feeling hasn't gone down at all. Jun Mo said, I'm going back to the ghost doctor house and won't go back to the Mu Jia with you. Come back to Mu Jia's residence with me first, I need you to take a look at my little uncle's leg. Mu Qian pulled him away nonchalantly. She already had a way to solve the poison in little uncle's eyes. But those legs have been poisoned for over 20 years and there is nothing she can do about it. She was hoping that this native Medicine King would be able to figure out something, even if just a little. When she got back, she found that nothing happened. But as soon as she reached the Wuyu courtyard, Seeing the broken tables and wheelchair with blood, Mu Qian's face turned dark. She coldly shouted, "Mu Yi!" Swish! All the shadows of the Mu Jia appeared and froze instantly when they saw the scene in front of them. Third Master. He. With a thud, he kneeled. "Please forgive me, Lord. We subordinates failed you." Someone entered here and grabbed little uncle without anyone noticing. The other party must be a martial king or spirit king expert, but who exactly is it? Mu Qian's brows are knitted. No matter who it is, mobilize all the intelligence of the Mu Jia and report back to me. Her purple dress blowing up with the wind and with a cold and dark expression, her aura turned into bloodle. U.S.T. This was the first time Jun Mo, Mu Yi, and the others had seen her like this. She, who talks, laughs and is casual and unrestrained every day, let out such a terrifying expression. "Yes, Lord," Jun Mo said softly. "Little girl, since the other side did not kill directly, there's still a chance. Don't rush first." Mu Qian's figure disappeared in a flash. Before going inside the medicine room, she shouted, "Notify me if there is news, I'll go and do some preparation. Those who dares to touch my little uncle, I will make them pay a heavy price." Jun Mo originally wanted to help Mu Qian refine some elixirs, but seeing that she took out a number of highly poisonous things, he thought it was better for him not to go inside the room. When night fell, the eldest young master of the Ouyang family, Ouyang Ji, entered the Mu Jia's residence proudly. "Let Mu Qian she come to see me." "Lord." Outside the medicine room, came Mu Yi's voice. With a wave of her hand, Mu Qian she gathered up the poison she had refined anew, and with an icy gaze, she spat out 2 words. "Ouyang clan." This time Mu Qian did not neglect Ouyang Ji, and the next moment he learned that Ouyang Ji had come. Mu Qian had already appeared in front of him. When he was about to raise a brow, a sense of foreboding crept up on his skin. A pair of slender fingers suddenly strangled his neck and a cold voice came into his ears. "My little uncle, where is he?" Cough cough cough. Mu Qian's hand was so fierce that Ouyang Ji's face turned blue from the pinch and he kept coughing. He said with difficulty, "If you don't want Mu Wuxuang to die, let go." 1. Ben is used by a speaker to refer to themselves in the third person, Iliism. This form of speaking is used for more formal occasions, usually when the speaker is part of a conversation among equals or as the highest-ranking person in the room. Chapter 121. Mu Qian's arm moved and viciously dropped Ouyang Ji's body down. "Leader." At this time, a slender voice swept by and Yuzhe looked at Mu Qian with worry. He knew that Third Master Mu Wuxuang was her only family member. How much Third Master Mu Wuxuang dotes on her and how important he is for her. Ouyang Ji grimaced in pain and said angrily, "Mu Qian Shi, how dare you make a move against me? Aren't you afraid that Mu Wuxuang will die without a burial place?" Swish! Numerous needles were suspended in front of Ouyang Ji. "Speak up. Don't give me so much nonsense. No matter what, this lord will kill you today and go talk to the Ouyang clan myself." Ouyang Ji's body trembled. He felt that at this time the person in his eyes was not Mu Qian, but His Highness the Night Prince instead. Like a death god, there is no trace of human emotion in her eyes. Ouyang Ji didn't dare to talk any more nonsense, and spoke. "Mu Wuxuang was taken away by my master and his men. As long as your Mu clan handed over all their properties, including money, estates, elixirs, and artifacts, my master and his men would naturally release Mu Wuxuang." Mu Qian asked, "The third elder of the fire sect and the others, how exactly did they capture my uncle?" Even if a few spirit kings are mobilized, it is impossible to make a move on her little uncle. Mu Qian wanted to know what exactly happened to him. How can Mu Wuxuang be my master's opponent? You also think too highly of him. Ah! Mu Qian directly slapped Ouyang away. Those scum from the fire sect, how could they be a match for my little uncle? Ouyang covered his face. Mu Qianxi, do you promise or not? If you don't deliver the stuff personally to the fire sect before midnight today, just wait until you collect the corpse of that crippled little uncle of yours. Crack. Without needing Mu Qian's hand, Yuzhe had already moved forward to break both of Ouyang's arms. Ag! Ouyang screamed miserably in pain. They wanted to take my clan's properties and think that this lord would easily agree. Born as a major clan of the Purple Moon Kingdom, yet they covet the wealth of secular families. Tell me, did the Fire Clan go crazy from poverty? At this time, the Great Elder and the others rushed towards her. Lord, you mustn't. If we give away these properties, our Mujia is finished. The second elder spoke without remorse on the side. Yes. The third master is lucky. He will definitely escape this disaster. A cold glint flashed on Mu Qian's eyes. If we don't hand over the wealth, will the two elders lead the way to kill the fire sect with me to save little uncle? The corners of their mouths twitched slightly. They were only at the peak of the 9th stage martial warrior. Don't mention going, even killing the extreme fire sect was obviously an impossible task for them. They still want to live a few more years. The Great Elder said, Lord, the fire sect is a large sect. In the whole Purple Moon Kingdom they are definitely not to be messed with. We can tolerate this, Lord, don't be impulsive. Swoosh. A few cries were heard as countless needles flew towards these old guys. All kinds of poisonous powders were also sprayed towards them. Mu Qian was furious, a bunch of old guys looking for death. This lord's little uncle's life is in danger right now and you're telling me to put up with it. All of you. Get lost. Mu Qian pointed at Ouyang, including you. Get lost for this lord as well. For the fire sect to be able to make the calm and collected Mu Qian like this, it seems like they really touched her reverse scale. Yuzhe, go and collect the property of the Mujia. I understand. Yuzhe agreed without saying a word. Mu-yi, gather everyone. Yes, my lord. Junimo, follow me to the fire sect and I will make you a lot of delicious food that you have never eaten before. Really? Count me in. Junimo jumped up in excitement as soon as he heard about food and was completely captivated. Qingning, feel free to eat these elixirs. Restore yourself to the highest level, then come with me to save him. Mu Qian took out a large batch of elixirs, which was more than the entire Purple Moon Kingdom's annual elixir trade. Junimo looked at Mu Qian with wide eyes. Little girl, so many elixirs. Are you feeding a pig? Wow! As a result, a pair of cold eyes glanced at him. Junimo suddenly felt a chill, so he hurriedly shut his mouth. Although Qingning doesn't talk a lot, it does not mean that he couldn't understand human words. It was already dark and all preparations were ready. Mu Qian brought the 99 shadows of the Mujia along with Qingning and Junimo, whose strength was unfathomable, to eliminate the fire sect. While they were in the midst of a mad rush, a scarred figure suddenly jumped out, and Mu Qian hastily bellowed, Mu-yi. Mu-yi hurriedly pulled the one who had fallen to the ground. Sir Doing. Aren't you my little uncle's personal shadow guard? Mu Qian asked in a low voice. Doing fell to one knee. This subordinate deserved to die. I didn't protect the third master well enough. Please forgive me, young lord. What exactly happened? This. Doing wanted to say something but stopped for a moment and just said, Young lord, third master said that the fire sect possesses a powerful artifact. He ordered this subordinate to never let you go to the fire sect for he will be fine. He clenched his fists, wishing he could shatter the bones in his body. He knows how badly the situation is for the third master, but he can only say to others that Mu Wuxuang will be fine. No matter what, the young lord mustn't go to that place and risk her life. Mu Qian lowered her head, her pair of pitch-black eyes were so deep as she looked down on him. You better be telling the truth or else. I actually do not want to use this on my own people. A needle with uncertain substance had already drawn into Mu Qian's hand, and the pupils of Doing fiercely shrank. The young lord was always true to her words, she definitely wouldn't say it just to intimidate people. Young lord, the poison in the third master's legs was sealed by the old patriarch since childhood, but now the seal has not been imprinted for nearly 20 years, so it has almost reached its limit and has broken out by now. With the arrival of those SCUM from the fire sect today, the third master, who is in immense pain, is unable to face the enemy. And I alone wasn't enough to deal with so many people and let the third master be taken away by them. I sneaked into the fire sect to save him, but was eventually discovered by them and failed to bring the third master out. Mu Qian's face changed greatly. Little uncle's situation is so critical. We must hurry and save him. Doing anxiously said, Young lord, the fire sect is a dangerous place. Third master knew their plans were not small, otherwise they would not do something against the rules of the Dao. Doing, you know I couldn't care less about that. Right now, my only family is in their hands. Even if I pull the whole fire sect to HELL, I will not give up to save my little uncle. The night breeze blew up, her black hair blowing in the wind. The woman in front of him was as bright as the moon and her eyes were as clear as the cold stars of the dark night. He knew that there was no one who could stop her. There was a time that third master was also like this, and this time it was the young lord. Go. 1. Tian, he's referring to Mu Wuxuang's father. 2. Dao, the origin and source of all things. It can be translated in many different ways, including the way/road/path/method. According to Taoism, it is the absolute principle underlying the universe, combining within itself the principles of yin and yang and signifying the way, or code of behavior, that is in harmony with the natural order. Chapter 122. Mu Qian used the fastest speed to arrive at the clan gate of the fire sect. The stone stairs leading to the interior of the fire sect were filled with lifelike relief sculptures that were raging with flames. Just standing at the entrance, you can feel the heritage of this 100-year-old sect, which is not a match for any of the secular families in the Purple Moon Kingdom. An outer disciple of the fire sect came forward and made a palm-hold fist salute. Mu Jia's lord, please come inside. Our sect master is waiting for you. Mu Qian's expression was cold as she followed this person into the fire sect, and Jun Mo and Qingying followed after her. The great hall of the fire sect was wider than the imperial palace's martial hall, and sitting inside were the fire sect's leader, Ji Shan, along with his 7 sect elders. Ji Shan said, Lord Mu, you dare to come to my fire sect personally. You have a lot of guts. Cut the CRP, where is my little uncle? Mu Qian, she said in a cold voice. Mu Jia's lord is as lawless and untamed as rumors say. Today, I have finally seen it. This is my territory, so you are not allowed to be arrogant here. The spiritual pressure of the third stage Spirit King swept over. But Mu Qian raised her eyes without the slightest fear. A pair of dark eyes seemed to contain a storm, wanting to annihilate the old guys in front of her. I'll say it again, where is my little uncle? Old man, if you still won't let me see my little uncle, even if this lord dies today, you will also get nothing. The grand elder of the fire clan laughed. Mu Jia's lord is young and vigorous and truly fears nothing under heaven. Sect leader, since Mu Wuxuang doesn't have any strength left, should we let her meet him? Then we will listen to the grand elder. The sect leader nodded his head. At this time a white figure was being supported by someone to come out. Mu Wuxuang had already lost consciousness at this time. His jade-like face was white and his breath is extremely weak. Mu Qian fist clenched, her figure flashed and softly held Mu Wuxuang's body. Junimo. Junimo drew a cold breath. He has an ancient poison in his body and the seal that keeps it bay was already broken. He is already at death's door. Swish. Mu Qian injected several potions into Mu Wuxuang and in an instant Mu Wuxuang's life force was quickly fading. Ji Shan gloated, this little girl is a ruthless character. In order to reduce Mu Wuxuang's pain, she actually took the initiative to kill him. Junimo also looked stunned. Do Ying's face changed greatly. What is the little girl, young lord, doing? Mu Qian ordered, Do Ying, take care of little uncle. Junimo looked at Mu Qian like a monster. You actually have a way to make people fake their own death. Usually when I encounter a patient who is on the verge of death and cannot find treatment for the time being, I will choose to let the patient fake his death first and then study ways to save him. I was able to come up with a solution every time and this time, it will definitely work too. Junimo fell silent. He did not want to discourage her. This patient, Mu Wuxuang, was definitely much worse than her previous patients. His poison was not something that could be saved if you want to. At this time, Ji Shan said, Little girl, the person is in your hand, so the things that I want, you should hand it over. Mu Qian raised an eyebrow. Old man, stop your acting. We all know that even if I hand over all my clan's property, you will not let us go today. If you were really after my clan's property, then more than 10 years ago, you would have broken the secular agreement to make a move against my Mu Jia. Why wait until now? Ji Shan stood up and laughed hideously. Little girl, I must say you're very smart. What I want from the fire sect is not your Mu Jia's property, but the life of the future Night Prince's consort. After saying that, several old guys seized towards Mu Qiancher viciously, carrying a sinister and murderous aura in their whole body. Two figures blocked Mu Qian's front and the strength of martial and spirit kings shook them back before they could get their way. Ji Shan froze. When did the Purple Moon Kingdom produce two such young martial and spirit king experts? But even if Mu Qian had two martial and spirit kings with her, it was still too little. Taking down Mu Qian and them would not take much effort at all. Wudi. Xiao Hong. At this time, Mu Qian let out two more trump cards. Wudi Tianxia, our number one. How dare you touch my master, you're all looking for death. Wudi said in a cold voice. Swoosh. With a sound, Wudi's figure rushed out. Their faces changed greatly in unison. What kind of spirit beast is this? Meanwhile, crimson flames shot up into the sky as Xiao Hong jumped out. They only saw a little red figure wrapped in flames charging straight down at them. The eyes of the sect leader of the fire sect widened. How is it possible? That's a holy beast. She. How could a spirit beast with this rank appear in the Purple Moon Kingdom? Xiao Hong wagged his tail in delight and laughed. Old man, do you want to die? How dare you hit my master's heart? Shadows, do it. Rumble. Just at this time, the entire fire sect mountain collapsed. Before coming to this hall, Mu Qian had asked some shadows to plant explosives inside the fire sect. In addition, these explosives were unlike the ordinary ones she used before. With her configuration of various poisons, today will be the day where the whole fire sect will blow up to the sky. Ack. Cough. Sect leader, it's not good, we've been poisoned. The disciples of the fire sect rushed inside in a hurry. All the disciples of the fire sect below martial and spirit kings were poisoned and lost their fighting strength, while few of the spirit and martial kings left were weakening. Ji Shan was furious. Poisoned? Then why won't you take an antidote pill? Sect leader, the antidote pill is useless. Not only is it useless but it also catalyzes the poison, making us more and more deeply poisoned, a disciple said with anxiety. How is that possible? Ji Shan said with disbelief. The antidote pills rarely failed unless one encountered a very powerful high-ranking poison master. Could it be that the Mu Jia actually had a high-ranking poison master? All of you catch Mu Qian Shi for me, Ji Shan ordered. After capturing Mu Jia's lord, asking for the antidote won't be a problem. Countless needles flew out of Mu Qian's body while her whole body was covered with poison. When they got close to Mu Qian and were about to grab her, suddenly the poison all over her body turned pitch black. Arg! A miserable scream came out. Poison! She's filled with poison. Their eyes widened in disbelief. Even Ji Shan stared in disbelief. He did not expect Mu Qian to make a poison so powerful. The poison on her whole body is fatal. If one touches it, he or she will immediately die. Ji Shan ordered, kill them directly, no need to leave them alive. A few spirit kings from the fire sect were stopped by Junimo and Wudi, but countless spirit and martial kings pounced towards Mu Qian Shi. Lord! Several figures fell down and blocked their attacks. Clacking sounds filled the area. The shadows' concealed weapons were fired in unison, shooting every opponent in front of them. Lord! Hurry up and go with Third Master. Mu Yi roared. In order to make a path for Mu Qian Shi, they will block the enemies even if it costs them their life. Even if the other side's people were poisoned by a lot, if they set their mind to kill, there's still a little chance that they may succeed. Chapter 123. Just as this crisis reaches its peak, Ah Ting's voice sounded, "Ugly woman, I'll do my best to help you this once. Remember, when the time stops it's all up to you. After that I will fall into a deep sleep, so you can't be too careless while I'm asleep. Cut the CRP and do it quickly. Mu Yi and the others can't hold out anymore." A breeze blew and in an instant, everything around seemed to have stood still. When Mu Qian's purple figure moved, all the poisonous needles flew out and rushed towards all the strong people around. She was like a grim reaper as she began to reap the lives of these people. Boom! All 7 elders were killed with a single blow. However, the sect leader of the fire sect happened to be protecting his body with spiritual power, so his body was unharmed and Mu Qian's needles, surprisingly, could not get close to him. Time resumed its flow when Mu Qian struck him once more. Seeing that Mu Qian, a weak spirit master, dared to strike at him, Ji Shan directly slapped her palm away. Seeking death. The power of a spirit king swept through her, making Mu Qian feel like her body and internal organs were about to shatter open. PFT. A mouthful of blood was spat out. Qin Ying's body flashed and in an instant, he shielded Mu Qian from the front. Boom! Ji Shan's attack fell on his body. Qin Ying and Mu Qian flew out, while Ji Shan also took a few steps back and widened his eyes in surprise. How is that possible? How can his body be so strong? But what surprised him even more was yet to come. The 7 fire sect's elders, one by one with a thud, fell to the ground. Everyone's lips were purple, as if they had been poisoned. What happened just now? How can they be poisoned in a blink of an eye? Is this something even a human can do? Ji Shan was confused. The opponent in front of him somehow collapsed and Wudi and Xiao Hong hurriedly blocked in front of their seriously injured master. Jun Mo's body flashed and encircled Ji Shan from behind. He laughed, "The elders of your clan are all poisoned. Once I finish you, I'll be done and have something good to eat." What the hell is going on here? Ji Shan felt that this must be a nightmare. Mu Qian slowly stood up, wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth. "If you want to know, you go to HELL and ask the King Yen." Mu Qian grabbed out a handful of pills to heal herself and also gave a lot to Qin Ying. "Qin Ying, can you still fight? If you can fight, finish this old guy in one breath." Qi Ning directly took the pills as water to drink to recover his strength, and the corners of Ji Shan's mouth twitched when he saw these two people who were so wasteful of high-quality pills. What kind of people are these? Do it! Mu Qian coldly shouted, and in an instant, Ji Shan was surrounded by four sides. The strength of Jun Mo, Qi Ning, and Xiao Hong were not weaker than him, plus with the agility of the spirit beast Woody, this is the first time he fell into a difficult battle. Xiao Hong shouted, "Behold, the amazing destroyer of heaven!" Fiery red flames spread out in the entire fire sect as Xiao Hong attacked with all his might. Qi Ning's figure turned into countless shadows, continuously attacking Ji Shan from all sides. Swish! Woody made a strike with his claw and viciously grabbed Ji Shan's neck. Ji Shan hurriedly dodged, but there were three still more bloody cat claw marks left on his face. Ich! A miserable scream came out from him and blood spilled on the ground. Just at this time, the moonlight shone on a long sword then stabbed towards Ji Shan's chest. Mu Qian smiled. I didn't expect that this foodie who's good at alchemy is also good at making swords. Ah! This stunning sword made Ji Shan unable to escape anymore. Ji Shan shouted loudly, "Master, help me! Save me! I don't want to die yet." Boom! After Ji Shan fell to the ground, a deafening sound filled the entire area of the fire sect. A huge black shadow that blots out the moonlight with its darkness and evil aura swept over Ji Shan's body. Which person managed to turn you into this wretched state? Is it Binzua's food that has come? Since you're here, why didn't you wake Binzua up earlier? Its voice was ear-splitting, causing the whole ground to shake. Ji Shan weakly answered, "That person, he hasn't come yet." Rubbish, that man hasn't even come yet and you're already in such a mess. The power of darkness devoured all the disciples of the fire sect who were poisoned and lost their combat power on the ground. "Master, these are all my disciples of the fire sect, they are only poisoned. They're not dead yet." His own disciples were devoured one by one, including the 7 elders, which made his flesh ache. It's just some trash, so what if they are devoured by me? In time, with Binzua's help, you will make your fire sect the #1 sect in the Snow Continent and the #1 sect in the Southern Realm. When that time comes, will you still care about these wastes? That voice was unusually arrogant. Ji Shan exclaimed, "Your Excellency is right." The power of darkness seems to restore Ji Shan's life that was on the verge of death. It was good that he himself came back to life, so it doesn't matter to him whether others were alive or dead at this point. Xiao Hong hurriedly said in a deep voice, "Master, go. This disgusting thing gives me a very bad feeling." Even Jun Mo also frowned slightly. What the hell is this thing? Lord! The shadows and the others were also incredibly cautious. When the Fire Clan got a particularly powerful backing, that's the only time they dared to go against the entire Purple Moon Kingdom and went against Zhou Yi directly. That powerful force is not something they can go against, so that powerful backing must be this pitch-black monster. Mu Qian shouted, "Retreat." Ji Shan hurriedly said, "Master, don't let them get away." The entire SPCE seemed to be enveloped by that dark power, becoming sticky, and that black shadow laughed hideously. "You can't run away, be good and become my food for recovery." A behemoth from and among the black fog came out, and at this time Mu Qian and the others clearly saw the monster's appearance. It has an ape-like face but with a pair of bull horns. Have 4 legs and 4 hands, but the body is like a lion with long hair. It is a big monster that is completely unlike any other. Ji Shan pointed at Mu Qian, "That woman. That's his woman. Kill her and he will surely throw himself into the pit." Caw 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 caw. Is that so? The monster laughed hideously and its 4 hands suddenly became longer to grab Mu Qianxi. Roar! Xiao Hong bellowed with rage and spewed out crimson flames. Disgusting thing, don't try to touch Benzhua. Those flames did not do any damage to the monster as if it was only a small flame. It said with contempt, a stupid pig, how dare you block Benzhua. With great strength, Xiao Hong's body was directly slapped away. Eyesore, all of you, get lost. Looking at the aggressive Wudi, Jun Mo and the others, the monster's 4 hands slapped towards them. Sound of chaos filled the area. The monster's speed is astonishing that even Jun Mo and Qing Ying could not dodge it completely. The disparity in strength between the monster and them was in plain sight. In just a few seconds, Mu Qian was already caught and she simply could not escape. Woman, do you think I should shred your arm first? Or should I tear your hand first? The monster stared at Mu Qian and asked. Right at this time, Mu Wushuang, who had been shielded by Doing, moved a little. In front of Doing, Mu Wushuang's jet black hair turned into silver purple. As his eyes slowly opened, it also turned into that color. Chapter 124. A cold indifferent voice came out, a lowly ghost, how dare you harm my niece? That pair of golden eyes, with an icy coldness that did not belong to this human world, seemed to turn the surroundings into H-E-L-L. Little uncle. Mu Qian was stunned. She forced her little uncle's body to rigor mortis but didn't expect him to suppress the medicine and wake up. This power is yours. You're here. Then, as long as I eat you, I will get incomparable power. The ghost laughed hideously. At this point, the menacing ghost has given up on feasting Mu Qian's body and turned his attention to Mu Wushuang instead, greedily looking at Mu Wushuang with drool. Ji Shan widened his eyes. Master, are you saying that the power you wanted was from him and not from the Night Prince? How is that possible? It's him. I'm sure it's him. My intuition is never wrong. The ghost drooled at Mu Wushuang. Its appearance is incomparably disgusting. After saying that, the ghost rushed towards Mu Wushuang. Boom! Terrifying power emanated from Mu Wushuang's body and rushed towards the menacing ghost. But the ghost dodged away and laughed triumphantly. Caw 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 caw. Your seal is only half unlocked, your power is too weak and your legs are useless. How can you be a match for Benzhua? Be a good boy and become the nourishment for Benzhua. As its hands grabbed at Mu Wushuang rolled down to the ground to dodge. His legs not being able to move was too limiting to his strength. Mu Wushuang shouted, Sheer, hurry up and go. Mu Qian hastily stood up. She knew Ah Ting was in a deep sleep by this time and her own strength, which is at the first stage spirit master, isn't enough for the monster they're fighting against right now. But even if she had to fight with her little uncle until the last moment, she will not go. Do-ing. Take Sheer away. Although it was only a low-level ghost, it was not something that any of the people in this little kingdom could fight against, and all Mu Wushuang could do was buy her a little time to escape. You still care about others when you're at the end of your life. Ha! Take this. A powerful attack was blasted towards Mu Wushuang. Ack! A mouthful of fresh blood spat out from Mu Wushuang's mouth. The smell of blood made the ghost even greedier as he opened his big mouth and pounced on Mu Wushuang. I'll eat you alive. Go! At the same time, a volley of needles with varying poisons rushed towards the arm of four-armed monster. Boom! The poison needle exploded in its arm and a white mist enveloped it for a while. This white mist was highly poisonous and ordinary cultivators would definitely be affected. But this four-armed monster isn't human and Mu Qian knew that it wouldn't do any harm on it. Mu Qian swept past and pulled Mu Wushuang, little uncle. Let's go. The white mist dispersed and the huge shadow shrouded them, followed by a raucous voice, "Go? Ha, none of you can leave. You humans are too much of an eyesore, why don't you all die for me?" A powerful force came towards Mu Qian, obliterating everything on its path. Mu Wuxuang's golden eyes seemed to burn up, ready to throw everything just to protect Mu Qianxi. But at this moment, a cold and merciless voice that seemed to come out of H.E.L.L. filled the entire area. "An insect like you, how dare you do this to this prince's fiancée?" A man with a black robe dancing wildly in the night wind appeared in the air like a dark demon God. The night is dark as ink and his aura was akin to a king which no one could disobey. Ji Shan exclaimed. "It's the Night Prince, he's here." Mu Qian looked at the man who looked like an Azura in the night sky and was slightly stunned. He really came. "Insect, you say? In front of Benzwa, you humans are the insects." The ghost used its two hands to grab Jiu Yi in the air. The black figure looks cold and then, blee even when sweeping through the darkness and easily dodging the attacks of the four-armed monster. Suddenly a power that shook heaven and earth swept down, imprisoning the ghost to death. Boom! In the blink of an eye, the menacing ghost was viciously thrown outside, on top of a mountain peak. Its body smashed out a huge hole on top of the mountain peak. Countless rocks fell, and the power of the four-armed monster is surprisingly weakening rapidly. A cold, cruel and sinister look was on Jiu Ye's face as he gently raised his hand and a strand of the ghost's pitch-black soul was drawn out by him. It screamed miserably, "No! My lord, please spare my life." A cold glint flashed in Jiu Ye's eyes. "Die! Who are you? Why are you here? Ack, how can there be such an existence in this place?" The soul of the ghost was torn apart in an instant and his angry roar resounded throughout the fire sect. The fire sect leader trembled in fear. He originally thought that the person in the snow continent who was only at the 9th stage Spirit King's peak was the strongest, but he was mistaken. Xianyuan Jiuyi, this man who could fight to this point, was even more powerful. His master, who is his greatest reliance, was easily cleaned up by Xianyuan Jiuyi. It was too much to take in. For a moment, he felt an incomparably dangerous aura that locked onto his body. Ji Shan was very afraid of death and hurriedly ordered, "Stop him for me. Stop him for me." He wanted his men to stop Jiu Yi and buy himself time to escape. The remaining disciples of the fire sect, all trembling with fear, were forced to approach carefully due to the orders of the sect leader. But at this time, that pair of icy blue eyes became bloody red. With a wave of his hand, all the people around were all knocked out. One by one, they turned into hideous white bones. "Demon!" Ji Shan shouted. The man in front of him was staring wide-eyed and the mask on his face suddenly fell off. His whole face was covered with a hideous pattern like a vine. Vicious. Venomous. Bloodthirsty. These words suited him completely. He was like a demon God descending into the world, making the crowd almost scared out of their wits. Mu Qian froze for a moment and hurriedly shouted, "Jiu Yi." His face, how did it turn out like this? She had seen the face under his mask. It was beautiful enough to make heaven and earth lose its color, not like this. Boom! Sounds of chaos filled the area and Jiu Yi is like the devil that seeks others' life at each turn. At this point, the entire fire sect was destroyed. The majestic sect with palaces, pavilions and towers are all turned into ashes in an instant, as if a bomb landed on it. All the disciples of the fire sect were turned into white bones and reported to King Yen. It was a terrifying and shocking extermination. Mu Yi and the others were shaken. They hastily contracted their formation and protected Mu Qianxi. They felt that at this moment, His Highness the Night Prince had turned into a demon who only wanted to kill. After he finished solving those people from the fire sect, they were afraid that he would make a move on their lord, so they had to protect her even if it cost them their lives. Chapter 125 HH. The sect leader of the fire sect fell to his knees and wailed in pain. "You're not human, you're definitely not human." Starting from his head, his body turned into white bones in an instant and finally fell to the ground, completely dead. Jiu Ye's ink hair, which was like silk, fluttered freely in the night sky. A pair of ruthless eyes, tinged with bloodthirsty and ruthless bone-chilling, looked at Mu Qian. His face, which was so beautiful and unrivaled, now became even more hideous than the evil ghost Rakshasa. And the black pattern that seemed to be spreading out to his body kept on giving him an aura that grew more and more terrifying. Jiu Yi stepped on the void, like a devil God who defied all life, and approached Mu Qian and the others. "My lord. Hurry up and take the third master away," Mu Yi hurriedly said. In an instant, a boundless, gloomy, cold-killing aura filled the air. It was as if 10,000 ghosts were howling around them, making people's bodies freezing cold, which made them think that death is near. Mu Qian pushed Mu Yi away. "You guys move out of the way." "Lord." Mu Yi's brow wrinkled into a character. "This is an order," Mu Qian said without being allowed to make a comment. "Sheer." Mu Wuxuang wanted to stand up to pull Mu Qian, but his legs could not support him at all. Boom! Mu Wuxuang, whose strength was depleted, instantly lost consciousness and fainted. He said in a raving voice, "Sheer, absolutely nothing must happen." Mu Qian with a consoling voice, "Little uncle, don't worry. I will be fine. Take good care of little uncle, I'll go check on Jiu Yi." Mu Qian moved in a flash. Mu Yi and the others could only watch as the Lord, whom they were protecting, approached the man who was as bloodthirsty and ruthless as a demon God. They wanted to stop her, but the Lord's order could not be disobeyed. She walked in front of Jiu Yi. Jiu Yi, like an ice sculpture, set his eyes on Mu Qian. Mu Qian stretched out her hand, touching the hideous face, and said softly, "Jiu Yi, what is wrong? This is the first time I've seen you in such a mess." What shocked Mu Qian even more was that the black lines, filled with great evil power, were not poison, nor were they compulsions. Mu Yi, Junemo, and the others were about to glare their eyes out. Not only did she get close to this man, but she even touched his face. A pair of cold hands that seemed to freeze Mu Qian to death grabbed her wrist. The terrible strength seemed to crush her bones. Jiu Yi said in a low voice, "Go. Take your people and go quickly." His voice, it was as if he was suppressing something. Like there's a ferocious beast that was about to break out of his body, devouring all living creatures here, including Mu Qian. Jiu Ye's hands slowly loosened, allowing Mu Qian to regain her freedom. Mu Qian coldly shouted, "Mu Yi, take little uncle and leave quickly." "Lord, what about you?" Mu Yi gritted his teeth. "Jiu Yi came in order to help me. He is in a bad situation right now, and as an alchemist, I may have something to alleviate his symptoms." "Lord, this is very dangerous." The hearts of the shadows were anxious. "You all go." A powerful force pushed Mu Qian away. "Lord," Mu Yi's heart was burning with anxiety. Before they had time to leave, at this time, some of the black patterns suddenly came out of Jiu Ye's body, forming a furious vortex that surrounded him. Junemo widened his eyes. What the hell is going on? When Qingning saw the scene in front of him, his pupils shrank violently and he said in a low voice, "I seem to have some impression, but I can't remember." The scene in front of them was completely beyond their imagination. Roar! Suddenly a painful roar came out. Mu Qian frowned tightly. What in the end was that black pattern that could make Jiu Yi, who had always been indifferent to anything, suffer to such an extent? Mu Qian took out countless pill bottles and deployed several potions in the blink of an eye. Painkiller, sedative, sleeping agent, these are the only 3 simple potions that can be dispensed today, but no matter what, I'm going to try. Hopefully I can reduce his pain a bit. Mu Qian muttered. Junmo's face sank. Little girl, you're crazy. Although these potions of yours are special, I don't feel that they are going to work against this bizarre situation. Rumble. The mountain beneath their feet suddenly collapsed, making their figures a little unstable. Mu Yi exclaimed, Lord, we must retreat now or else we will be buried alive. Mu Qian also looked at the man who was wrapped in an evil and terrifying power and couldn't help but stammer. Originally, she thought that the people of the Purple Moon Kingdom feared Jiu Yi so much was just an exaggeration to deliberately demonize a good iceberg beauty. But she didn't expect that Jiu Yi could really do such a terrifying thing. But even if that is the case, Mu Qian is willing to give it a try. Just when she was about to rush over, a cyan figure blocked her. He said in a deep voice, Don't go near him, he's very dangerous. Boom! A destructive force rushed towards the Qingyin, slapping him away. And at this time, Jiu Yi expressionlessly appeared in front of Mu Qian and stretched out his hands to pinch her slender neck. As long as he moves a little, he will be able to snap her neck. Seeing this scene, Mu Yi, Junmo, and the others' anxious hearts are about to jump out, but they are biting their lips to death. At this moment no one dared to make a sound. They are afraid that if they make a sound, His Highness the Night Prince, who has lost his mind like a demon G.O.D., will completely strangle their lord to death. Mu Qian felt that she had difficulty breathing and her head was dizzy. Instead of killing her for S.N.T.C. Ting when they first met, Jiu Yi was about to make up for it at this time. Just when Mu Qian was about to lose support, she suddenly felt a dark shadow looming over her eyes and then she woke up with a jolt. A single word was slowly exhaled, followed by MN. Mu Qian's eyes widened and looked at Jiu Yi with disbelief. Mu Yi, Junmo, and the others also froze. The Lord, little girl, was forcefully kissed by the frenzied Night Prince. His Highness Xianyuan Jiu Ye's action is too outrageous. Jiu Ye's kiss was very wild. There was no trace of order and skill, as if he simply wanted to let off some steam. His eyes look like it wants to claim or possess something. It's a scene that seems to haunt forever. The night breeze blew up, the black robe and purple dress intertwined underneath the moon, the 2 people's silky hair was blown up by the cold wind in a difficult way and entwined in their eyes. It was like a deep kiss that even if it went forever, will never be enough. Chapter 126 Caught unprepared. Mu Qian was dazed by the domineering kiss of Jia Yi but finally recovered a trace of sanity in the next moment. The needles in her hand were drawn out and pierced in Jiu Yi, talks. Mu Qian mentally sighed. If Jiu Yi could come to his senses, I hope he would not take this matter into account. Although it's a normal thing to get a needle in that area in modern times, His Highness the T.I. Night Prince was different. If he knew that he was poked with some needles in that area, he would definitely want to kill someone. The corners of Mu Yi and Junmo's mouths twitch up frantically. With this temperament, Lord, little girl, is really worthy of being the head of the clan. See, even when kissing, she still has time to be distracted and make a move towards the Night Prince. Meanwhile, Jiu Yi, whose focus in what he's doing does not have the heart to care what this woman is up to either. But when he felt her focus was getting farther and farther, Jiu Yi nibbled more vigorously, like an insatiable beast that caught its prey. While Jiu Yi was engaged in the moment, suddenly a very untimely voice came. Master! The curse has surprisingly flared up early, are you all right? Housekeeper Bai's eyes widened when he saw the exceedingly charming scene. He instantly froze and wanted to bury himself into the ground to hide. Jiu Ye's lips left Mu Qian's and let out a voice that can put people's souls to freeze. Get lost. Boom. Housekeeper Bai, an old bone, was slapped away by his master and blasted off in the air. The black pattern that wrapped around Xianyuan Jiu Ye's body at this time slowly came back together, shrinking from his body to his face and slowly disappearing. And finally, the handsome and peerless face that was obscured by dark patterns was once again displayed in front of Mu Qian. Seeing such a stunning and ravishing figure, Mu Yi and the others also stared in disbelief, revealing an incredible expression. They were told that due to the Night Prince's appearance closer to a Rakshasa, he tends to wear a mask. But they didn't expect His Highness the Night Prince to be this handsome, seemingly Serpa. Sing all the men in this world. Mu Qian saw his eyes were back to its icy blue color and breathed a sigh of relief. Then, she turned her head to see Jiu Yi, who had done something bad but looked calm as ever. It's good that you're okay, otherwise I'm going to be the first person to suffocate because of kissing. Jiu Yi's slender hand gently brushed over her red and swollen lips and softly said, "It won't happen." Ben Jun has a sense of proportion. The cold touch made Mu Qian take a few steps back as if she had received an electric shock, and her heart could not help but throb. Even the furious kiss just now did not make her heart a ripple, so how come a sudden touch from him made her heart skip a beat? Mu Qian had just taken a step back when Xianyuan Jiu Ye's slender body actually collapsed in front of her. Mu Qian hurriedly held him up. Jiu Yi. After checking, Mu Qian determined that Jiu Yi had just run out of strength. Added with the effect of some of her elixirs, he eventually set out and would be fine when he woke up. It's already rare for this guy to fall down in front of her. I wonder what exactly is that curse that Housekeeper Bai just said. It can even make the powerful him become so wretchedly out of control. Mu Qian waved her hand. Go. Let's go home. The fire sect made such a big mess, but no one dared to go near here because they vaguely guessed that the terrifying power is from someone they don't dare to mess with. The one thing that Mu Qian didn't find out was sealed up by this place. Today there are 3 major sects in the Purple Moon Kingdom, the Fire Sect, the Danji Sect and the Xianlei Sect. But in fact, 7 years ago, there was another sect called the Jueming Sect. The sect leader was interested in His Highness the Night Prince and forcibly took him away to the clan. People who knew about the aftermath of said incident were scared to death and never dared to mention it again. Unexpectedly, 7 years later, another foolish sect dared to do the same thing to the Night Prince and eventually perished once more. After entering the capital, Mu Qian ordered, Housekeeper Bai, take Jiu Yi back to his palace. However, Housekeeper Bai didn't immediately agree and was also in an unusual state of distress. Just now, he knew that the anger on his master's eyes weren't small and he couldn't live without gaining the master's mercy first. An idea popped up in his mind and then Housekeeper Bai laughed. Lord Mu, those skeleton servants in the Night Prince's palace have no ability to take care of a patient. Why don't you let my master recuperate in your place for one night first? Mu Qian nodded. Okay, this was the first time Jiu Yi made such a mess, and a large part of the reason was to save her and her little uncle so she won't destroy the bridge after crossing the river. In the first place, if it wasn't for him, she and her little uncle would have been tortured to death by that 4-armed ghost there. After placing Jiu Yi in the Shuishi courtyard, Mu Qian pulled Jun Mo away to see Mu Wushuang. Jun Mo, you are at least the king of medicine. Tell me what exactly the cure is for my little uncle. Your alchemy is also mysterious and unpredictable and much more complex than mine, so if you can't make a cure for him, then what more can I do? Mu Qian's face sank. From now on, you just have to eat wild vegetables every day. Jun Mo instantly tensed up. You can't do that. I'll die without meat. Then my little uncle. Mu Qian glanced at the sleeping Mu Wushuang. Jun Mao explained, those who have been hit with ancient poison never survived. Fortunately the poison was sealed in his legs, which made your little uncle live for more than 20 years. But with his current condition and broken seal, I'm afraid no one in this world has the strength to suppress his poison again. If not for his strong power, he wouldn't even last this long. I also do not know how long his strength can hold up. I have a 9th Earth Grade elixir and green spirit lotus here, you can directly let him take it. It can suppress his body's toxicity, but there's no telling how long it lasts. This ancient poison is too strong. Junemo waved his hand and said helplessly. 9th Earth Grade elixir. What level is it? Elixirs is divided into 1 to 9 grades, which is only the mortal grade. Above the mortal grade is called the Earth grade. In the snow continent, there are only 3 or more of this 9th Earth Grade elixir. I spent a large sum of money to make this, that's why, little girl, you must feed me with good food and drink every day. For the sake of good food, the Medicine King is very desperate and such treasures are offered. Mu Qian asked, just suppression. Then do you know the way to completely detoxify the poison? What she wanted was definitely not just to suppress the poison but to cure it from the roots and let her little uncle stand up once again. Junemo shook his head. The remedies for many poisons in the ancient times have long been lost, plus this one is incomparably malignant, even more impossible to cure, unless what? Mu Qian asked immediately after. Chapter 127, 8 more times Junemo answered back, unless you find the eternal G.O.D. cauldron, you might be able to cure the poison and get your little uncle on his feet. Eternal G.O.D. cauldron, isn't that a medicine cauldron? It can detoxify poison. Mu Qian asked in confusion. As long as you get the eternal G.O.D. cauldron to recognize you as its master, then you will obtain its inheritance, and perhaps there will be an antidote for the poison in that ancient inheritance. Other than that, I can't think of anything else. Junemo waved his hand and said. Mu Qian nodded her head, I see. It seems that no matter what, we have to find the eternal G.O.D. cauldron. Not only to improve her own pill-making skills, but also to cure her little uncle, she is now more than determined to win the eternal G.O.D. cauldron. It's just that this other world is too big, and it's not that simple to find ancient divine treasures. Regarding her contract with the Eternal Pavilion, Chaos Zhejiang Pavilion, it is completely like a blind cat ping into a dead mouse, while the Eternal Ring, Water G.O.D. Dragon Ring, was a gift from Jiu Yi. Junemo said with a smile, it's right to have this determination, but to find the Eternal G.O.D. cauldron is definitely much more difficult than you can even imagine. Mu Qian surveyed Junemo for a moment before saying, you seem to be extraordinarily concerned about the eternal G.O.D. cauldron. That's for sure. Didn't I tell you? The eternal G.O.D. cauldron is a treasure that every pill refiner dreams of. I am also a pill refiner, you know. Junemo pretended to play the profound thinker. After giving Mu Wushuang the spirit lotus, his breath apparently stabilized a lot. Mu Qian she let out a sigh of relief, and then returned to her Shuishi courtyard. As soon as she opened the door to her room, she saw a cold and stunning man reclining on her bed gazing deeply at her. Mu Qian exclaimed, Jiu Yi, you're awake. The man came closer and looked at Mu Qian from above. I'm okay. Mu Qianqi smiled, You look fine now. He said that, but he's still feeling weary and wants to lie on Mu Qian's bed for a while more. Mu Qian said, Jiu Yi, this is my room. If you want to rest some more, you can go back to the Night Prince Palace first. Jiu Yi frowned slightly, you're driving me away. My place is too small to accommodate 2 people, I'm afraid it would inconvenience you, so, you should send me home. In a flash, Jiu Yi swept Mu Qian into his arms and took her with him directly. The corners of Mu Qian's mouth twitched. This is not her sending him back, but him taking her captive, okay? When Mu Qian was brought into the Night Prince's palace by Jiu Yi, she was ready to bolt out. I've sent you back, so I'll go first. Today, stay. Jiu Yi caught Mu Qian. The moonlight at this time fell on her face. Her exquisite face that looked confused was shining in the eyes of Jiu Yi. Stay. To do what? Mu Qian's heart was pounding. He wouldn't be able to remember what she did to him, would he? Apparently, there's nothing to fear. Think for yourself, what have you done to this prince? With a firm grip, Jiu Yi's hand yanked her onto the soft couch in the room. Seeing this one approaching as strongly as a demon God, Mu Qian's heart went up and down. Jiu Yi, special circumstances have special treatment? At that time, I could only put the potion needle there, I didn't mean it. A pair of slender hands fell into Mu Qian's neck, a strange cold breath swept Mu Qian's whole body. He said in a low voice, if it is someone else who does this to Benjun, you, however, are an exception. Even Jiu Yi himself did not know that the cold and cruel icy blue eyes of his actually flashed a hint of doting light. How about we just let this matter go? Mu Qian looked hopefully at Jiu Yi. Jiu Yi retracted his long and slender hands, making Mu Qian breathe a sigh of relief. She's thinking that His Highness the Night Prince would be generous enough to let her go. But the words of Jiu Yi made her fall off the soft couch. Benjun intends to use his own way to treat others, what do you think? With the perfect lips slightly open, the words came out slowly. Mu Qian gritted her teeth but eventually gave up. Anyway, this ghost doctor is not afraid of needles. In fact, Master Hua has made her potion needles so fine that they don't hurt at all. Mu Qian took out 9 needles smaller than a hair out and said, Jiu Yi, I'll just give you 9 shots, 3 tranquilizers, 3 hypnotics, and 3 painkillers. The medicine is already loaded, if you want to do it now. Mu Qian lay on her side on top of the soft couch, obviously waiting for the doctor to give the injections and resign herself to her fate. But Jiu Yi stood aside and did not want to touch the needles in the slightest. Mu Qian turned and asked, Jiu Yi, 9 shots, not enough. 4 words were spat out coldly. Mu Qian mentally slandered, Your Highness Shura surely doesn't want to return the favor tenfold, right? If it's 90 shots, it will poke into a hornet's nest. 10 needles. That's final. Mu Qian took out another needle. I hope he is not so cruel to really turn it tenfold. As a result, Jiu Yi was not moved, but directly pressed Mu Qian on top of the soft couch. That pair of icy blue eyes looked straight at Mu Qian, which flashed a hint of danger, giving Mu Qian a very, very bad premonition. Sure enough. Jiu Yi's hand moved, which directly made Mu Qian lie on top of the soft couch, as a result, PAH. Ah! Mu Qian let out a shout, her eyes widened, her entire face turned red. She was so angry that she trembled and shouted, Jiu Yi, you bastard. How dare you spank my ass? She has not been beaten like this by anyone in her previous life or this life. That thing of yours, I won't use it, so this is for the best. Jiu Yi replied very honestly, with an equally good feeling in his hand. Maybe Aunt can hold it in, but Uncle cannot. Mu Qian was ready to resist this inhumane Shura tyrant. It was already humiliating enough to be beaten a little, but if she really got the 90 spanks, she would definitely go berserk. Mu Qian exploded with all her strength, and with a sudden leap, she flipped over and directly grabbed the arm of Jiu Yi and flung him on top of the soft couch. Mu Qian sat on top of him and pressed his shoulders with both hands. The color of her flushed face had not yet faded at this time. She said angrily, Jiu Yi, you've gone too far. My father didn't even hit me. I can't believe you went down there. Jiu Yi, who was forcibly suppressed by Mu Qian, said very seriously, wasn't it you who did that first to Benjun? The corners of Mu Qian's mouth twitched. That's different, that's an injection. As a doctor, it's a normal thing to give an injection in that area, and it's not like I haven't seen it before. Just as Mu Qian's words fell, suddenly this Shura Demon King's aura became very dangerous. In an instant, the sky spun, and Jiu Yi took the initiative to suppress Mu Qian once again. There are 8 more times. Hot air sprayed in Mu Qian's ears, but the words he just said made Mu Qian want to cry. I can see your S leaking, Jiu Yi. Jiu Yi, so what? I'll tell this to her uncle the next time we meet. Jiu Yi, are you already tired of living? Translator. Will you? You can't hurt me or Mu Qian will hate you. Jiu Yi, oh, really? Why yeah. And if you hurt me, this novel will be put on hold again. Jiu Yi, TSK. Fine. I'll spare you this time. Phew. OMG, that was so scary. T to the power of T May has something to say. This chapter was the last work of the previous translator before she went on hiatus. She forgot to publish it, lol. Hope she'll come back soon. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.